And just before we go, Thursday means it's time for another episode of the Kent Film Club just after the break in a few minutes. The show invites guests from all over the county to share their films that define them. But before the start of a new episode, we're joined by our film presenter Chris Deasy to talk more on what to expect and the importance of celebrating the cinema experience. Chris, I don't know if you aware, but it's now UK's National Cinema Day, which has been successful for 3 years. It was actually put on hold this year. It's a day where people could get offers to watch movies at the cinema, but put on hold. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it?
Well, I remember back in the mid-90s, 1996, and I would cram in as many films as I could for £1. This was when I was living in Wales. From Dusk Till Dawn, Mr. Holland's Opus, some really good films that in some cases I saw before their official release. But we did have at the Cineworld over the weekend just gone, £4 per ticket.
Okay.
And so there were a number of films, and that included the 4DX and the 3D and the IMAX screenings. So, and I know that certainly the Ashford Cinema was absolutely packed. In fact, I didn't even go there. I went to the Dover Cinema because I didn't think I'd even get a space in the car park. So it shows that they work.
Yeah, initiatives don't like this.
Yes, cheaper tickets, but then more, and of course you still get all the refreshments at the normal price. So I'm sure the cinemas make a lot of money that way.
Is it important to still celebrate cinema? I mean, lots of people are turning to Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, the list goes on.
Well, there was a funny story because, you know, we were talking about the Thursday Murder Club last week, and yeah, KMTV, well, KMT1 is the radio station, so obviously a link with what we're doing here. But I was watching that, not for the first time, with one of my daughters last night, and we were the only people in the cinema, and it's still showing even next week at a few select cinemas. But of course, people are watching it on Netflix. So, but they did very carefully, and I think cleverly, as they did with the Knives Out film the other year, Glass Onion, it came out a week before its Netflix release in the cinemas, and the cinema, they were packed for those particular screenings. So I think it's a very difficult kind of relationship between the small screen and the big screen, and I don't know quite how it's going to play out in years to come.
Yeah, I heard Richard Osman talking about that on social media the other day. I think there was a cry for it to be in a cinema. I did actually watch the film last week, so thank you for the recommendation.
Did you enjoy it?
Very good. Yeah, I actually did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. It went quite quickly. Pacing, I thought, was quite good. Anyway, over the summer, we've seen many new releases, but movies at the moment on your watch list. I know we had the Downton Abbey premiere last night.
Yes, and it's coming out properly next Friday, so a week tomorrow. Honey Don't, which is a very sort of Coen-esque, well, indeed, Ethan Coen is the director, and also The Roses. Now, I remember The War of the Roses. Danny DeVito directed that in 1989. Very caustic comedy. You know, not really a date movie unless the person you're going with is an ex. But you know, and it was good British actors. You know, set in California. It kind of works, but I think it's a pale imitation, I'm afraid, of the original with Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner.
I've already got a list of people I could go and take to go and see that movie then. Anyway, coming up on the Film Club after this break, what can we expect?
Well, we've got some unbelievable guests in the coming weeks. I mean, this is the great thing. I mean, the most current episode is with David Lawrence. I'm still reading from the fact that I wore Spike Lee's shirt, but also you can catch that at the moment, and it is a brilliant episode because he brought all these artefacts with him, including from Kes and also the Wild Bunch, and you know, he's a big Ken Loach fan as well. Lovely when you've got a guest on the show who has tastes that are so divergent that each of the films they pick, you know, are not necessarily ones that you'd put together in the same box. But of course, it's that personal connection which every guest is bringing to the show. So whatever film they're talking about, they are the linchpin. They're the ones who bring all those choices and selections together.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll definitely be tuning into the show after the break, and always looking for the guests to come on, aren't you?
Yeah, we are, and also there's a new film called The Miner's Son that's out on Amazon Prime, and it was made by Juliet and Kevin Shaw, who were previous guests on the show. So, you know, and that filmed mostly in Deal. I met up with them last week and did an interview with them. So it just goes to show that, you know, there's a lot of homegrown stuff as well that's well worth catching. And of course, Thursday Murder Club set in Kent.
Chris, thank you so much for your time this evening. Kent Film Club on straight after this, and we'll be back at 8 p.m. with the Late Bulletin. See you then. Goodbye.